Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. This has been a crazy week with the new IOD Holiday release. Here are a few of the molds from this release, minus this one. Every year I like to do something new on coloring the molds around Christmas time because there's so many different ways to do molds. And last year I did a demonstration of the like rattle can spray paints with different molds. And except for this one, these are, and this one, these are painted. These are spray painted. So this is gold, and I highly recommend if you are a shiny, glittery, and I don't think you can see this quite on the camera, but this is such a pretty, kind of sparkly color, and I think I'm going to pick up a few more colors in this, but I like sparkly. That's my personality. Not my personality. It's what I like. I don't think it's my personality. Anyway, so I did this in a silver. This is the same, two golds. This is white. And I put the silver lining DIY powder on that. And what I did is I put it in a salt shaker. And that way you can just spray it. So I sprayed it with white. And then I just sprinkled the, and I'm sprinkling the color, the silver glittery color over the piece. And then I let it set up. And then I did a clear coat over the top to help seal the glitter onto the piece. When it comes to top coats, after you've used something, a product like silver lining or a glitter, you're going to want to seal it in with a gloss top coat. Do not use a matte or a satin. It takes the glitter down and then you kind of lose the effect. This one I did obviously a copper color, and I think it just really turned out pretty. So what I want to do from here though, oh, this one too, it was the silver lining, and this was over the Farm Fresh. I was just kind of playing around trying to see what I might like to, I don't know. It's just kind of a different Christmas color, but it's kind of pretty. You know, it's not the traditional. And then this one was me, this might be later, but I was kind of playing around with a different colorant and seeing how that worked. But the reason why I wanted to show it to you is this was a partial pour. So I only had a little bit of the resin left in my cup, not enough to do a big one, but it's kind of cool. You know, the way it kind of feathers out, and it's kind of delicate, but it's kind of fun. So let's start with the pumpkin, since Halloween comes before Christmas, although we're all raring to go now. So we're going to start out with some clear wax on this, just so that it makes it a little easier if you get too much color on here to wipe it back. Looks like, oh, there is some color on that. I didn't realize I got one of my color wax brushes, which is already making it look way cool. You can see it's darkened up quite a bit, and that's kind of an awesome look. So I got DIY's dark wax now. I'm just gonna get a little bit on my brush, but I don't want a ton. And then I might just take a paper towel here and wipe it back. And I want to go into the seams. Or not the seams, but the creases of the pumpkin. Just kind of do some shadowing. But that is really pretty. That it was a happy mistake that I had some Dark and Decrepit on my brush. And Dark and Decrepit is the powder form, basically. That. So that is now all over, and it kind of toned down the copper, but it also kind of made it a way cool effect. I think I want to put a little bit on the stem just to get in those crevices. All right. And remember, if you get too much on there, just wipe it back. Now with this, I don't know if you can see this, but some of the paint color came off with that. I was not expecting that. And I think it was because of putting the wax on it. So if you're worried about the color coming off a little bit, but I think it kind of adds a cool effect, honestly. It's kind of another happy mistake. But if you're not wanting that, then you could just use the wax in the corners. Don't rub it back and leave it alone. Or you could put a little bit of the just the clear wax and put a little dark and decrepit in the creases. I'm going to grab just want to add a little bit of the dark and decrepit dust to help. But that was kind of surprising that the wax pulled back. Now I just painted these, but I did let them sit for 24 hours, but still a cool effect. So sometimes you can make things that you don't expect to happen into, you know, make it work for you. So next I want to put a little bit of Farm Fresh on this one, and we're going to dry brush it. And you can use a brush like this, or you can use, I prefer to use more of a flat brush to do dry brushing. And basically you just want to get a little bit of paint and you can scrape it off. You can either scrape it off onto the thing, or you could, you know, offload it. And you just want to go brush over the top. So you're keeping your brush flush with your piece. And you're just hitting the top parts of, and you could use any color. You could use a gray, would be very pretty. It would tone down the gold a little bit. I kind of like the idea of this blue, and you're just kind of hitting the highlights here, or the high spots. And when you're spraying, make sure you get your sides. I didn't do this side quite as well, but I did spray the back. Make sure you're getting the sides with your spray, your rattle can. The nice thing about using the rattle can is it's fast to give you your base coat. I'll put that aside. Let's see, what do we want? I think we're just gonna antique this one. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to try the waxes again, and hopefully it doesn't pull off too much. Now these were two different paints, so that'll also be interesting. I would love to hear what your favorite piece was from this release. What was your favorite mold or transfer? It's been very interesting. It's always hard for, as a stockist, to know what, I think I know what people are going to like. And then the next thing I know, that's not the one that's selling and it's something else. And you're like, it's hard to know. I think this was probably one of their best holiday releases, in my opinion. It's been a lot of fun, although I have not got the chance to play with it much because it's been busy. I got my products on Monday, and then we had the release on Tuesday. So yeah, it's just, so I'm going to leave her face alone. I'm not going to put the dark and decrepit, I don't think. Maybe I'll put a little bit in her hair, but just leave her face and her neck area without the dark and decrepit. But that just tones down that gold, but still has the gold being very pretty. And I'm just kind of pouncing the powder in there. Now, if you feel that that's a little too much and you're afraid, although I think I do want to wipe this back a little bit just so we know how this paint is as far as if it wipes back with the wax. It doesn't seem to. So I think it was whatever that paint was. So the Rust-Oleum Universal, and this is for plastic. I don't know if the other one was for plastic, although this is resin. It's basically the same idea. So, oops. But that tones her down a little bit. But very pretty. These would make such pretty little plant stakes for the holidays. This one, I think I want to do white. So let's do a little bit of white wax. But we're going to do the clear wax first. And once again, this is a different brand of spray paint. I just used what I had. But afterwards, I really realized I really like the Rust-Oleum. All right, so let's do the white powder. And I need yet another brush. I'll grab. And I have different brushes for my different colors. And I just use those, and I don't clean them very often, like maybe once a year I clean my wax brushes. And I don't keep them in a baggie. Once I get them, they're a little bit stiff. I just, you know, move them around, get them moving again, and they're good to go. Now this really toned down that silver, just putting the wax on it. But it is kind of giving it a cool, kind of rustic color with the white over it. Let's get our paper towel. And I'll just bring some of this back so you get a little bit more two-toned. Is a cool look too. So that's just the silver, and that's with the white over. Same with this. Now on this one, I think what I do also is just, because you do want to spray the back. Well, depending on what you're going to use it for. If you're going to glue it to something, then don't spray the back. But if you're going to use it as an ornament, then definitely color the back. And in our family, I started a tradition years ago when the kids were little that I wanted them to have their own ornaments when they were ready to leave the house. They still don't do their own Christmas trees. So one of these days, because they will come over to our house, but they all have their own ornaments through the years. And I just think it's a way fun tradition. So every year I get a different ornament for the kids, and then on the back or somewhere on it, I write their name and then the year, and it's just fun. So these would be great for that because you got a lot of flat space. So that's it for this week. Can't wait to kind of dive in and start playing with some of the other products. Like I said, tell me which one is your favorite. I'd love to hear. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.